Skyrim, a story about the Stormcloaks warring against the Imperials set to the backdrop of angry winged Argonians that ate too much hot sauce. A classic. I must have beaten this game a dozen times when it released, 15 years ago, as such I know a lot of its tricks. So I thought, what if instead of becoming an overpowered stealth archer, which all roads lead to, why don't I lose all of my stuff every time I level up? I decided to start as a Khajiit, something I don't think I've ever done before because they get bonus damage when they are fighting barehanded. Fighting Cat Claude. Also, I know this has been talked about before, but imagine if Alduin just didn't show up here and accidentally save us. The game just ends after the 10-minute carriage ride. Actually, that would have been a hilarious anti-piracy measure. Anyway, I follow Ralof into the keep. This decision was not made because I like the Stormcloaks, though I do, but instead, why would I follow the people that tried to murder me? This decision is like a video game litmus test. The rest of the tutorial plays out pretty normally. Hit some dudes, hit some spiders, typical RPG stuff, but this part of the script is being written before I finish the run, and I have no idea how this is going to go. Early game, I'll level faster, so I think I'll be dropping gear more often, but late game, any levels means I'm naked against more powerful enemies. Let me know in the comments if you think this is going to get harder or easier as time goes on. On my way out of the tutorial dungeon, I stopped to activate the Warrior Stone. In hindsight, this probably wasn't the smartest decision, as it would make my primary method of dealing damage level faster and thus cause me to lose everything more frequently. Then again, it is well established by now that I am not a smart man. I make a quick stop in Riverwood to chat up the middle evolution of a fighting line, and I'm told that I should head to Whiterun to inform the Jarl of the dragon attack. On my way there, I run into a pack of wolves and get my first level up. I suppose this is as good a time as any to talk about how this run is actually going to go. Basically, as soon as I level up, I am required to open the menu and accept it. Technically, I didn't have to take a perk immediately, but I also did that just so I couldn't hold on to them and manipulate the run in my favor. After that, I have to go to my equipment and just drop everything that I can. That's pretty easy to do for the actual, stuff, but gold? Well, there's at least one way to get rid of it, but I couldn't just drop it out of my inventory, so I decided to just not buy anything. As for magic and shouts, I did think to do some kind of, if I get it, then I can use it only during the level I got it kind of thing, but similar to gold, I just decided to not use magic at all. Shouts are a tiny bit more complicated as several are needed to complete the game. At first, I was just not using them, but after about 6 hours, I decided that they have a long enough cooldown and are innate, like my fists, so I said what the hell and allowed them. Anyway, back on track, there is a group of Imperial soldiers leading a Stormcloak, and by that I mean there are 4 dead men and 1 re-armored Khajiit. A giant! A chance to test my skill. My work here is done. In Dragon's Reach, I talked to the Jarl about the dragon coming this way, which, okay, I get it, but the dragon can absolutely fly faster than I can run. If it wanted to beat me here, it would have. Well, that aside, I am ultimately tasked with diving into an ancient rune full of death and mystery. My objective? To get the Dragon Rosetta Stone for Farengar Obvious Condescending. Bleak Falls Barrow is overrun with bandits who are not really an issue. What is an issue, though, is my own stupidity. I decided to read a book on a table. It was a skill book, and I got my next level up. This happened just before the giant frostbite spider fight. So, here I am, naked, with no weapon against a spider the size of an SUV. Yeah, I don't like my odds. Surprisingly, I do actually pull through, and yeah, I could have went and looted something that I had already fought, but that felt a bit like cheating given the run's premise. Anyway, I cut down Arvel the Swift, who, as his name suggests, is good at running away like a little bitch. The Draugr in this area also aren't an issue. The Restless versions, however, have frost magic, which, kinda sucks. Second time through the dungeon, I thought I would be smart and not read the book, but this is a Doomwolf video, so I found a way to outdumb myself anyway. In this case, it was fighting the bandit outlaw instead of letting him take his tutorial puzzle death. This resulted in me getting the level up from one-handed skills. That being said though, since I didn't technically finish him off before the level up, he's fair game. This time around, I deliver Arvel swiftly to his death, and don't underestimate the power of 5 gum. Just after that encounter, I leveled again. Fortunately, all of the remaining enemies in the immediate area are basic Draugr, so not really a problem. I tried out using a bow, which, worked great because of course it does, but I don't know if it's worth investing in archery given most things seem to carry melee weapons, and I'm not going to be able to buy arrows due to my own restrictions. In the main chamber, I make sure to read the writing on the wall, then fight the Draugr Overlord. I was worried about this before, but honestly, he's, kind of a pushover. I guess that's expected given my level and whatnot, but still. Grab rock. Deliver rock. Don't get tip. Spit in next rock I'm asked for. Suddenly, we are informed that a dragon has been sighted nearby, and I am tasked with joining the strike team. Since this is the first dragon, the game's gonna go easy on me, right? Second try, I make sure not to become barbecue and slay the dragon. I then absorb its power and give a victory screech. Turns out, in addition to being a cat, I'm also part dragon. Listen, there's a lot of jokes that could go here, but those will cost me extra, so I'ma skip past it. Back in Dragon's Reach, our Bolgriff is so happy with the dead dragon that he gives me a useful axe. Well, useful for the next 10 minutes, and names me Thane. Hey Lydia, you're a lady? Listen, I know you've got a lot of gentleman suitors, but when was the last time one of these dicks killed a motherfucking mythical beast? Let's get out of here. Together, Lydia and I set off for High Hrothgar, but some bandits got in our way. A zombie? I don't think I've ever seen that before. That's kind of cool.
Tough talk for someone who's about to have their guts.
Don't you love it when the instant kill cam comes in at the perfect time? I do gain another level here right as I was about to fight the bandit chief, but he's easy too, so it doesn't matter. A little further down the road, I run into an old orc who is looking for a good death. Was it as good for you as it was for me? Eventually, I make it to Iverstead and... oh no, what do you want? Huh, a note about some necromancers raising zombies. I don't think I've ever seen this before either. I'll admit, my curiosity got the better of me. In the southernmost part of Skyrim, a group of necromancers are trying to raise the dead for their own nefarious purposes, but I'm here to paladin smite the undead back to oblivion. Hey, I got the YouTuber disease. Yes, I stole that joke from... wait, where did I hear somebody say that? Huh, the disease has taken hold and I can't remember where I've heard it. There's actually a lot of zombies here and I almost died, but the power of righteous fury prevailed. Unfortunately, that's it. There is not a further quest or anything, it's just... zombie. I learned from a friend after the fact that these zombies and a bunch of other things are part of the creative mod things that come with Skyrim Special Edition. Kinda cool, I guess, because it's new stuff that seems to mostly fit in with the aesthetic of the game, at least the default things, I think. I only saw like 2 of them out of the 5 million it downloaded. Either way, back on track, I begin climbing these 7,000 steps. Out of curiosity, did anyone else try to count these steps the first time they played, or was that just a me thing? Near the top, it's time for a true battle, the first real fight of the game, this frost troll. Oh no. Listen, there's no rule that I have to engage in combat with everything. A real warrior knows when to retreat after all. My favorite part about being here is that all the NPCs say it's rare and an honor to meet the Greybeards, but Lydia is like, hey guys. Outside I am taught the Thum for running away from my problems and sent on an errand to fetch something from a dungeon, sensing a bit of a theme here. I make a stop in Whiterun. Oh, look who it is. Well, I was in need of some new gear. Unfortunately, I perhaps maybe might have open hand slapped an NPC and got a bounty. Luckily, I can yield, and since the bounty is so low, I can just tell the guards to ignore it. Ustengrav is full of magic users, but I've never met any amount of magic that can stop steal. However, there is plenty of magic that can stop me. Second try through though, I unlock the secret to dealing with these nasty mages. It's to bash their teeth in with my shield. This will cause them to stagger, canceling their spell. Something defense is the best offense, I guess. Further in, I found part of the Become Ethereal Shout, which is a great defensive option, though I never actually ended up using it. Then I got lost for like 20 minutes before realizing that I somehow missed the massive bridge coming into the room. I'm gonna go apply to a game journalist position after this, I think I'm qualified. Finally, in the main chamber, I am ready to take the horn. Except, what's this? A love letter left by a mysterious admirer? She must want the D. That stands for Dragonborn, get your mind out of the gutter. My secret admirer asked me to meet in the attic room of the Sleeping Giant Inn in Riverwood. Upon asking for that room, I'm told it doesn't exist, but I can have the one on the left. Oh, you're my secret admirer. Let me guess, you've got a great personality. So, Delphine here is the one who somehow managed to get in and grab the horn before me. She wants to confirm I am the Dragonborn, and to do that, we are going to kill a dragon together. Honestly, 10 out of 10 first date idea. I let my cod brain take over and spawn camp this dragon, but I don't do anywhere near enough damage to actually take it down before it's able to retaliate. Fortunately, between the 3 of us and it not remembering how to fly, it's an easy victory and Delphine is ready to open up about her past. She tells me all about the blades and whatnot, and also that she thinks the Thalmor are behind the dragon attacks. Why? She has no idea, just that they have everything to gain from it. I then return to High Hrothgar and deliver the horn, and am taught the final word of power for unrelenting force. Lydia and I undergo being Karened at for a few minutes, then I do the only thing I can think of with my new powers. Traveling across the land of Skyrim sure is tiring. What I need is a nap. Well, guess what? Today's sponsor, Manta Sleep, can help with that. Manta Sleep knows that in order to be the best warriors we can be, a good night's rest is necessary. Their sleep masks offer comfort and quality so you can get the rest that you deserve. One of my biggest issues with conventional sleep masks is that they put a lot of pressure on my eyes, well with my big brain and all, but Manta sleep masks are made specifically with adjustability and comfort in mind. Personally, I use their sound sleep mask so I can listen to the gentle sounds of dragons screaming in my ears while drifting off to sleep. Relaxing. And what's this? I've been informed that right now there is a deal on those very same sound masks. If you buy one, you can get another 50% off. But act fast, the deal ends April 22nd. Be sure to check the link in the description below and get your nap on today. Thanks again to Manta Sleep for sponsoring this video. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. On my way up to Solitude, something, kind of weird happened. I heard a call for help, but nothing was wrong. Is this about the boy who cried wolf? I don't, wait. Oh, so my name is Wolf. How does the story work with that? This has left me scratching my head, but at least I can do that. Rogvir is, not so lucky. I speak with Malborn, Delphine's contact in the Thalmor embassy, and he tells me that he can smuggle some equipment in. I forgot I named my character Cat. Anyway, here is where I was able to give away my gold, which made me question if I was able to drop it or not. I was correct, I cannot, but I wonder if there are other ways to dump it to make the run easier to manage and actually be able to buy things. Oh well.
You can't go to a party at the Thalmor embassy dressed like that.
What do you mean? I'm naked. That's one hell of a party. My name is Cat. It's not even a good joke, but it does make me laugh. Imagine showing up to a fancy wine party in real life. Hello, my name is Human.
I have a powerful thirst that cannot be slaked.
Same, but I'm told this isn't that kind of party. I have my new friend here cause a scene, and Malborn and I slip into the kitchen. After I collect my stuff, it's time to destroy this operation from the inside. Also, apparently my shield was stolen. Don't know how that happened, everything I took it from was dead. The Thalmor soldiers are a bit beefier than your standard thugs, but the all-breaking strat of Mash R2 works pretty much the same. During this fight, however, I leveled up once again, which means I have become the thing I was sworn to defeat. One of the wizards summoned a Storm Atronach, which is very deadly, but it also body blocked the wizard into the room, meaning I could more or less hide behind the pillars until it despawned. Am smart. Peak corner. In the dungeon, I grabbed the dossier on Esbern, then it would seem Malborn has been caught. Unfortunately, I was not fast acting and he is now cooked. Literally. Karma comes swift though, as in the next room is a frost troll and I'm still not ready to fight these things. I return to Delphine and tell her that the Thalmor have nothing to do with the Dragon's Rising and that they are looking for someone named Esbern. She tells me that if he's in Riften, which is where the Thalmor think he is, he would be in the Ratway. Why is Esbern important? Well, he probably knows how to stop the dragons. I mean, I do. It's by murder, but no one asked me. On my way, I ran into another old orc. Oh, I know. Let's do some roleplay this time. I'll be Captain America and you be the Hulk, because you're green. Was as good for you as it was. In Riften, I find Brynjolf, and he wants me to do a little job for him. I didn't seem to have an option to ignore him, so that's fine. I guess I'll be a set of hands. He asked me to steal a ring and place it on someone. I don't have any lockpicks. Fortunately, the target for ring placement sells lockpicks. Kinda sucks for him. Well, I say that, but I did hit the 16% fail chance and had to reload a save. Second time around, everything goes according to plan. Brynjolf tries to get me to join the Thieves Guild, but I don't care about that. I just ask him where to find Esbern. He tells me to head deep below into the Ratways. The entrance, however, has a dagger with a note stuck to the door, which I don't think this was in the original game either. It talks about ghosts or something, probably just some stories the kids made up.
That's your best.
Well, a lot better than you, my friend. Oh, that is an actual ghost. Pretty sure I haven't seen that before. Oh well. Fighting my way through some more Thalmor soldiers, I eventually make my way to Old Man McDragonlore, and he didn't believe who I was at first, then I just casually name-dropped myself as the Dragonborn, and he bought it. No speech check, no shout, no nothing. We talk a bit, fight the Thalmor a bit, then on the way out, my curiosity got the better of me. What was that ghost? Oh, that is Dawnfang. Okay, well, I was right, this wasn't in the original release, but okay, let's do it. I want a sword that I can use for like 4 minutes. To get it, you gotta go to these 3 side rooms and fight the enemies inside. Not hard, but during the second one, I leveled up, meaning for the third and most difficult encounter, I was naked with my fists. It went as good as you'd expect. Second try, I kinda just hung back and let the squad take care of everything, delivering the final blow though, just in case. And, since this one wasn't a ghost, I could actually take his armor, plus Dawnfang. Nice. I take Esbern back to Delphine, who then explains that we need to find Alduin's Wall, a huge mural depicting all the knowledge of the past dragons. Unfortunately, it was lost, but hee-hee-ho-ho, surprise, Esbern knows where it is, and together we set off. The dragon showed up at the same watchtower as before. How many times do I need to teach you this lesson, old lizard? Honestly, I didn't need to fight it, but hey, cool music? Further down the road is Another dragon. I didn't realize it at the time, but this one is actually a named dragon, making me think he's important. But after looking him up on the wiki, nah, just a dragon with a name. Closer to the cave we are looking for, surprise, another fucking dragon.
I have had it with these motherfucking
Dragon.
on this motherfucking
Planet. This last one is actually close enough to Kynes Grove, so I don't need to fight it alone. Instead, I have the Forsworn lend to hand. Then, you know, unhand all the Forsworn. Inside the cave system, I spin some pillars and step on some plates and eventually use my blood to open a door. That has to be an OSHA violation. Hey Delphine, you, trying to tell me something? Was that night in the attic room not enough for you? Whatever, we learned that Alduin was defeated with some long-lost shout, and I reckon our friends the Silver Mustaches might know about it. I try to ask Arngeir, but he is not having it, and get scolded by Distant Sky Mario for not offering to help me. After that, he tells me the shout is called Dragonrin, but he cannot teach it to me as he does not know it. However, Parthenax might. I obtain the shout equivalent of a meteorologist's nightmare and clear the way to the peak of the mountain where I meet the leaders of the Greybeards and, Lydia, you're kinda in the way. We talk for a while about the cycle of life and death and how the end of the world really isn't the end as the next world will be reborn and blah 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 blah. I'm not a philosophy major. In the end, he tells me that Alduin was not killed in the past, rather he was samurai jacked by the heroes to our time and that he does not know the shout used to help defeat him. However, because the flow of time was shattered here, if I'm able to find the same Elder Scroll they used, I might be able to go back to the past to learn it myself. So cool, I just gotta find an Elder Scroll. You know, those like uber mystical, literal divine pieces of knowledge? No, yeah, I'll just pop into my local Black Horse carrier and pick one up. Fucking dragons, am I right? My best bet would probably be the College of Winterhold, you know, mages and their books and all. Feralda stopped me at the entrance and I thought I was gonna need to cast some magic, but I guess Dragonborn gets a pass? I actually always play as some kind of mage, so this is the first time I've ever done this. Nice little way for the devs to let non-magic builds experience the college, I guess. Anyway, in the library, Urag here schools me on what an Elder Scroll is and gives me 2 books over them, one of which is the writing of Septimus Cygnus, the local crazy man who might have a lead on where to actually find one. While I'm preparing for my ice bath, I'd like to take a moment to thank all my Patreons. Y'all help keep the dream alive. Stay beautiful, everyone. Old man Mick Yells at Ice here is kind enough to let me warm up in his, hut. He kinda sorta tells me to go to Blackreach. It's kinda hard to understand him, but I think that's what he said. Oh boy, Blackreach, my absolute favorite place in all these games. Yep, love that place so much. On my way there, I level up. Goodbye, Dawnfang, our time was short, but I'll never forget you. Inside, I meet a fellow cat person who is not a cat person. Second try, we take him down no problem. Also, this is roughly the time I decided that using shouts wasn't against the rules. The reason is just, I don't know, I wanted to spit fire at things, I guess. The dwarven spiders aren't much of an issue themselves, and neither are the Falmer, though I will say stepping on traps is, not advised. There are a lot of enemies in this area, so I figured the best thing to do would be to pick them off, or at least weaken them one at a time. Yep, all roads lead to a stealth archer build. Well, there goes that plan. Time for plan G. G for gravity. Hey Lydia, there are traps here. Be careful, okay? Good job. The Dwarven Centurion could pose an issue, but thankfully I collected a staff of fireballs from a Falmor wizard and a couple dozen arrows, so I didn't even have to engage in melee combat. I mean, sure, it took like 5 minutes, but I'm a challenge runner, not a speed runner. Suddenly, humans! I don't know why they're here. I mean, the cat person from before might be related, but I'm gonna be honest, I didn't read any of their journals and stuff on my way in. I let them fight it out for a while, then Dota 2 my way to the experience points. With that, I am finally in Blackreach proper. So, if you couldn't tell from my previous sarcasm, I in fact do not like this area. I think it's pretty, sure, but I don't know, every time I have to come down here I just sigh and don't want to do it. This time is no different. After force blowing people to death, a thing I should be getting paid for, I make my way to the inner chamber. I honestly thought this Elder Scroll holder needed the fire and frost magic, but no, it's just a few button presses, I guess. Funnily, there was a journal on the ground nearby of a guy who couldn't figure it out. Stupid. With Elder Scroll in hand, I return to the throat of the world and promptly drive myself mad with the knowledge of the infinite. In my crazed state, I see visions of the past. They tell me, angry words make dragon no fly. As my sanity returns, I find Alduin waiting to fight me, but he is no match for my new shout. Glad these aren't one-time uses. Oh no, he has a lot of health. Okay, time for plan B. Round him and pump him full of arrows. This brought him down to like 30% health thereabouts, then with a few lucky hits, I finished the job. Well, finish the job as in lower him to 0 so he can taunt me and run away, but still. Parthenax, you've got red on you. Also, Lizcall, did you make those reservations? So Alduin has escaped. We need to figure out where he went, and the best source of that information is one of his allies, so I need to capture a dragon. Conveniently, Dragon's Reach was built to do just that. Would you be surprised if I told you the Jarl did not like the idea that we have to use his keep to capture angry sky lizards? Well, to be fair, he's actually slightly less concerned about that and more so about the Civil War. So, if we can get the two warring factions to have a temporary truce, he'll let us do it. Over in Solitude, I walk right up to the man that was going to cut my head off not days before and tell him to get over himself and that there are bigger reptiles to worry about. Similarly, in Windhelm, I tell Ulfric that I don't care about his cause, instead I just want to fight dragons. In the end, I am able to get both sides to come to High Hrothgar to negotiate a truce. Now it's time for everyone's favorite part of their dragon-slaying mystical fantasy game, fucking politics. After all is said and done, we are able to reach a ceasefire. Honestly, I don't remember the terms of the agreement, but now Balgriff is willing to help me out. All I have to do now is call Odahviing to Dragon's Reach. Oh man, Jeff was just 2 days from retirement. My guy, a little busy here. Do admire your dedication to the job though. After a bit of Bethesda jank, Odahviing has been captured. So I get that his neck is bound, but like, he breathes fire later, so that isn't stopped, and it still could definitely thrash about. I don't think this would actually hold him, but hey, maybe the wood is stronger than I think. Anyway, Odahviing tells me that Alduin has traveled to Sovngarde. Okay, well the fast route there might be to jump off the balcony, but I don't think the game would like that. There is a portal in Skuldafn, but without wings, I cannot reach it. Odahviing then tells me if I free him, he'll give me a lift. Okay, yeah, sure, let's trust the dragon we just captured. Surprisingly, he was telling the truth. I wasn't sure if Lydia could also catch a ride, but it seems from here on out I'm on my own. Not a problem. Okay, maybe a little problem. On my next attempt, I used the bow to quickly dispatch a Draugr guarding the entrance, then just hack away the dragon that is now grounded. Of course I level up, which sucks, but a Draugr actually came and fought me while the dragon was flying away. It didn't give me any armor, but basically returned my bow and axe, so that helps. Eventually, I managed to hack my way through the dragon and restless Draugr. What's my prize? Another dragon and more restless Draugr. I ended up taking cover in this little tower thing, and that worked pretty well for the dragon. For some reason, most of the undead just walked up here one at a time, so I was relatively safe. I even found that the melee ones couldn't get me on this second floor landing. The walkable area is smaller than the pathfinding would allow. I sat here for quite a while in an attempt to farm arrows from the ones with a bow. This would have made me relatively invincible for the duration of this level, but it was so boring, so I gave up and just fought like a real cat warrior. Not gonna lie, this outside part of Skuldafn took me longer than the whole rest of the dungeon. Inside, nothing much happens. I just turn some puzzle pillars and barbecue more undead. Mystery jerky. I did originally plan to fight the dragon priest outside, but just as I got out there, a thought occurred to me. For why though? So I let the intrusive thoughts win and just barreled my way into the portal. In Sovngarde, I unchecked the Render Clouds option to clear a path and meet Soon, who tells me he will judge if I am worthy to enter the Hallowed Halls of Valor or not. All roads, my friends, all roads. Inside, I speak with the 3 heroes of old, and it's time to finish what they started, and then couldn't finish. Together we shout to the skies, clouds be gone, and Alduin lands. Ready for death, our battle begins. I'll be honest, I play mostly a support role here, ranged DPS, but not like the hunters of old school WoW, more like their annoying little brother who thinks he's helping with an unplugged keyboard. I do keep the dragon grounded, and after battling for ages, we are victorious. Oh, I died. That sucks. Oh wait, no, I'm alive. I live, and Alduin is defeated. The sons and daughters of Skyrim will live in fear no longer.